take a big breath and a sigh of relief. I'm not here to talk about financial jargon or anything really. I'll go over a little bit of what I do, but I'm not selling anything. I'm not pitching my business. I'm going to speak to you from a hometown girl and what I found with being an entrepreneur and transitioning from an educator of so many years and education fields, not just educator, but instructional designer and that sort of thing, to an entrepreneur here in my town. And I want to tell you my story of how that all evolved. So I've been to a couple of these meetings, and thank you for listening to my story and being here today. So if you look at the first slide, it says, I didn't know that I was on an entrepreneurial journey. I just knew I was trying to help people. And so that's how it all started. And I was exhausted, emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually. And what I didn't know was that a health crisis would be my next doorway into what I do now. So on one of the slides, I have pictures of my students that I taught over the years, and you'll see high school students there. And so, yes, I was an educator for over 20 years, and I taught them to make businesses, write checks, and I try to teach them about taxes. And we don't even understand that, right? So that was a challenge. And then the biggest thing was profit and loss. Like, you are going to have to invest and to have a profit, and how much are you willing to, and what about expenses? So that was very enlightening for me to see how students just expected to have something. Like, they just think everybody was rich and they just got there, and I don't know. It just appeared for some reason. But I loved it. I loved my time as an educator. I really was proud to be Miss Derrick. I really was. And my students meet me on the street, and I sometimes get emotional about it, and so do they. So I know that I made an impact. And then one day I realized I'll never go back. I'll never go back to the classroom, not in the way I was. And this time, this new experience, there was no curriculum. And I was used to having a curriculum and building a curriculum, but an entrepreneur comes with no curriculum. And as you well know, you've experienced that. It's hard. It's not easy. I want to start too and tell you a little bit about me. I'm a hometown girl. I've lived here all my life. I'll go ahead and say, I wasn't planning to say this, but I was adopted. So my birth certificate says I was born at Rabun County Hospital, which is literally right there. That is a lie. I have no idea where I was born. But they did that so that I could belong to a man and woman here in this town. And before that, I was in foster care, whatever. And so they couldn't have children, and so they adopted myself. They'd already adopted a boy 4 years older than I am, and many people in the town love him. And he actually is still here. But what I wanted to say was I had a picture of Dillard, like where you turn into the Dillard house, and it was a picture of the wood yard. That wood yard was my daddy's wood yard, and he made pulpwood and hauled it for paper. And my mother that adopted me ran the scales until one day she couldn't, because she found out she had cancer. She had 2 adopted kids. Adoption then, you had to have a certain type of family, and she had cancer. And here she was with 2 kids and a business. So cancer changed our lives because she passed when I was 4. But you know what? Their planning and their foresight was what gave me my legacy here today. My business is called Your Legacy Matters, and it's not just about money. It may lead to money, but it's not just about money. It's the foundation, it's your story, it's your life, it's the people that you touch. So I wanted to talk about this. So let me go back. Jogging was my outlet. Many people didn't know that that was my outlet, but that was the way I dealt with everything, is I would jog. And I didn't tell people about it. I would just go and jog and jog and jog. And sometimes I would tell Alfie, I would say, I'm going to be here just jogging. I said, if somebody kills me or something, this is where you go to look for the body. I'm going to spit my gum out so they can find the DNA. You know, so they kind of knew something was going on. But one day, for me, jogging was not an option. Actually, standing here like this in these shoes was not an option. Standing for 10 minutes was not an option for me. And it came out of the blue, really. So I'd been to 9 neurosurgeons, and I had gotten multiple injections in my spinal cord. And it's like I lost my left leg, use of my left leg. I would just fall down. I tried to be strong and let everybody think everything was okay until I literally became bedridden with pain. I was on that slide you'll see, I said the day was when I was not me anymore. And no answers, a lot of painkillers, tears, and ice packs. That was my life for a little while. And I was not going to be that way. I could not accept it. I could not be bedridden. So I was flat on my back, physically broken, and screaming out to God, literally, when my husband would leave, why me? What have I done? Why do I deserve this? I was helping children. I was doing all these things. Life has not been, easy, but it's still pretty good. I have a lot more to do. I told my husband, I said, I'm adopted. My mom could have given me away. She could have, and I mean like literally given me away. I could have been aborted. And I'm here for something. What is it? Why am I here? So I started searching for that. That's the first thing, is I needed to know why I was here. So I have pictures of me in the hospital. I didn't have these. My husband sent them to me. That was going to be on the slide as well. And I was not alert. I had to stay 10 days in Dallas before I was able to get in a wheelchair and come back to the U.S. I mean, back to my U.S., my Raven County, my world. And when I got here, I had friends, thank the Lord, that took care of me. I had, as you know, meals galore and around-the-clock care. Thank you for that. And there they are. So I asked, what do people do when they can't do what they used to do? So I had to say, what can I do? And the question then became the seed of my new journey. 3 things I want to leave with you today. I'm not selling anything. I'm not talking about my business, as you see, but you're an entrepreneur and you came here for something, and I have 3 things I want to leave with you. 3 things that, there were lots of things, but I only picked 3. Purpose, people, and a pathway. Those are the 3 things that really spoke to me. I made some worksheets, but I didn't get copies made. If you want to figure out yours, we can get those to you with just an email. So number 1, purpose. In teaching, I would always be working with a student and I would say, what is your purpose? And I'd make them dig deep in their soul. And that's how I made connections. So I took that into my work with entrepreneurship. So Vickie, what is your purpose? What do you want to do? When your purpose and your why is strong enough, you will get up every day and do what you do. If you do not have a purpose and you do not have a why, you're not going to get up every day and do what you do. Because you have nothing that is dealing with your heart. I have friends that say, you could sleep till whenever. Yeah, I could. But my purpose and my why is bigger. So I have a worksheet on how you can figure out what your why is, what your purpose is. And dig deep when you do that. So Ask yourself, in 3 years from now, what do I want to have accomplished? In 3 years from now, what will that look like? Whatever it is. And then I want you to go deeper. And why? And why is that important? Well, I want money. Well, why? That's not it. What does money do for you? Does it allow you to spend more time with your kids? Does it allow your child to go to that private school? What does it do? Every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. So you need to pick your yeses and your nos wisely. So some smart people have said, and I have a picture of my mom right when she found out she had breast cancer, standing there in front of our pastor's car, and my brother. I'll try not to get emotional. If I do, that's just okay. And they say, why didn't you give up? And I always think the 2 most important days in your life is when you were born and when you figure out why. I'm still trying to figure out why I was born. And maybe you are too. But I believe deep down, I am destined to do something. And I believe that that's why I've gotten as far as I've gotten physically. Because I'm still in a support group. And I'll send Al or Debbie or them pictures of people that can't do what I do. So what are you destined to do? Some of that comes from Dr. Benjamin Hardy that says, 10x is easier than 2x. And I study him and I use a lot of his teaching. Number 2, people. That was the other P, people. If you do not have 5 lifters are surrounding you, borrow them. 5, at least, lifters. Borrow them. Your family, when you're an entrepreneur, they don't understand it. They think you need to be clocking in and you need a job. That's what they think. You know why? Because they love you. And the brain always goes to security. What is secure for them? What will take care of them? Because a job to them is security. Borrow your 5 lifters. Have allies that love you enough to call you to a higher calling. Look for those people. And if they're not in your circle, again, there are podcasts. There are books. They are there. I listen to them every single morning. My friends can testify. I write what they say, put the sticky notes on the mirror. Because if my husband's not going to say it to me, by George, the mirror and the sticky note is.
I love that.
Also, when you're in the room, you become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with says Jim wrong. So when you're in a room of people, I don't want to be the smartest. What do I have to gain from being the smartest in the room? No, yes. I want to be in a place where I can learn and strive and grow and be something bigger. So that's what I did. I was just telling. I'm in the rooms with Ed Milet. I'm in the rooms with those people. I'm in the room with him. Yes, John Maxwell. You read any of his books?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Okay, get in the rooms with them. And Benjamin Hardy, if you study him, he openly said he had to borrow proximity to these kind of people. He had to borrow it until he was one of them. So do what I did and borrow a lifter. That's people. So who's on your board of influence? Ask yourself. Have a worksheet that says, are these people lifting me or are they pulling me? If they're pulling you, cut the rope. Seriously, you'll do yourself a favor. So also one of my slides have some of the people that I follow. So if you don't have anybody to follow, I highly recommend them. Surely you'll find one you can relate to. Don't stay loyal to environments that are no longer aligned with your future. The last one, I want to talk about my mentor, and this was really important. So you heard me say I went to Utah. I've been studying this man for 4 years. They say I'm a financial advisor. I am not a financial advisor, thank the Lord. Because if you lost your money, I would be sick to my stomach. It's hard for me to explain what I am. I'm a financial strategist and financial educator. My biggest mentor is a man named Doug Andrew. I brought 2 of his books, 2 of his latest books. I am co-authoring a book with him as we speak. And I just completed the first chapter, and I'll be more than happy. I have this QR code that was going to be on the screen for you to scan to go through a funnel, and you could get the first chapter. This is another one that it's flip it. If you like stories, you can do one side. If you like data and numbers, you flip the other side. Have 2 cases in my office, and I give those to people who make a one-on-one appointment with me. So, why did I pick him? Because he promotes not getting, but giving. He promotes not dependency, but stewardship. He promotes not what am I going to get when somebody dies, but how can I empower them to use something that I leave them. And the last one is not success, but significance. So I love him. I love what he stands for. He and I have become good friends. I've taken pictures are on the slide. See, he sees entitlement, meaning I'm entitled to I'm entitled to your money. Instead of daddy, you go take mama and go on a cruise and you love her the last years of your life. They're like, don't go on that. I need that money. So he sees that type of entitlement as the greatest threat to true lasting prosperity because it erodes initiative, gratitude, responsibility, and vision. What do you want to leave your kids? You want to leave them some money? Or do you want to leave them a way to leave a legacy? What's important to you? That would hit me hard after being in education. They earned their grade. I didn't give it. And I just want to say thank you for your attention today. I didn't tell you a lot about what I do exactly. You have to make an appointment with me or get on the website. But my goal is to help people get unstuck and shift from like chaos in their life to clarity financially and build legacies that matter. So that's what I want to leave you here with today.